All right, so we're going to continue on this one. We're going through questions 16 through 20 inclusively. So let's start with question 16. It's like, which one of these has the greatest slope? So we're looking at the absolute value. Which one has the greatest absolute value of m? Right, so my slope is, remember, y equals mx plus b. So that is a slope, that is a slope, that is a slope, and that is a slope. Which one of those has the greatest absolute value? Well, this is a 1, so my absolute value of my slope is going to be 5/3. This is a -1. Actually, I should probably say this is my slope. All right, so this is going to be my absolute value of this is 1. This is 3/4, and this is 3/2. So these are all 1 or less than 1, so it's not those two. And these are all fractions, right? So this is 3/2 is the same as 1/2, and 5/3, 5 divided by 3, is 1 2/3, or 1 1/2 right here. So which one is bigger? That is bigger than that. So this has the greatest slope. All right, so here I have two functions. X is less than 3, and y is greater than or equal to -3. All right, so you got to see which one satisfies this. So my x value must be greater than 3. So I'm comparing it to its x position, its left and right position, right? So I'm going to find 3. Sorry, x is less than 3. So 3 is right here, 3 is right there, 3 is right there. And it's one of these, some of these have dotted lines and some of these have undotted lines. Okay? Well, remember, the dotted line is if there's no symbol right there. So that is each one of these ones too. But x is less than 3. So x has to be somewhere. Remember when my variable is on the left, this is like an arrow, right? So x is on this side of 3. So it has to be this one or this one. Or it could be this one too, okay? Because my shaded region is on this side of 3. It can't be this one, right? So now we're looking at y is greater than -3 or equal to -3. Right, so this is my greater than or equal to line at -3 right here on each one of these. Right, now y is bigger than that, right? So y is going to be, if I flip it like this, right, y is going to be above the line, right? So it's got to be this. No, it can't be this one. This one has this shaded, so it can't be that one. So it's either this one or this one. So it's got to be above the line, so it's this region exclusively. All right, so this one is A. So I can do my origin test. So my origin test has my x value in the shaded region. So when I put in that, I should have a true. And my y value is 0. It's also in the shaded, the origin is also in the shaded region. So that should be true. So when I press x, so 0 is less than 3, that is true. If I put 0 is greater than or equal to -3, that is also true, right? So that is the area where this exists in both the x and the y direction. Number 18, here's a quadratic falling equation, right? Ball was dropped 20 feet above the ground. There's my starting point. Starts at 20, right? And then it goes like this at time t, right? So what is the range described in this position? The range, remember, is up and down. It starts at 20. It ends at 0, right? So it can be y must be between or equal to 20 and 0, right? So that is where y lives, so it must live right there between y is greater than or equal to 0, but it's less than 20. Remember, range is y up and down. Okay, which one of these models exponential growth? remember that y equals a times b raised to the x, and b can be either 1 plus r for a growth, or 1 minus r for a decay, right? So I'm looking for my value of r, and if it is greater than 1, right, it's going to be, if my b value is greater than 1, so if b is greater than 1, it's going to grow. If b is less than 1, it's going to decay. Okay, so which one of these, so a doesn't matter. A doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. Okay, I'm looking at which one of these has a b value greater than 1 for a growth. 1/5, not greater than 1. 5 is greater than 1. 1 minus a fifth is not greater than 1, and 1 minus 0.5 is not greater than 1. This must be b. Okay, which function decays exponentially? Remember that y equals a times b to the x. Y equals b, or a, times the quantity of b to the x. Okay, and b is 1 plus or minus r. If it's minus r, it's a decay. So b has to be less than 1. Okay, so a doesn't matter. That's a right here. A is 1. It's not there. And right here, a is 1. It's not there. Okay, so it has to be an exponent. That is 1/5 x. It's not an exponent. This is 5 times x, not an exponent. This is 5 raised to the x, but my b value of 5 is greater than 1, right? So that is a growth. So it's not that one. 1/5 is less than 1, and it's raised to the x, so this must be my answer. Okay, so hopefully that helps with the next 5 questions. We'll move on to the next 5 after this.